I was like very confused by how large was the CRM market, how crazy were the revenue these businesses were doing, and at the same time, how bad was the experience. And I'd say hunger of people complaining about their CRM everywhere on the web. It's too manual. I want to get like 200 million of revenue with not less than 50 people. And every time we are to hire a new person, we think deeply, is this something that we can do with AI? I've been very, I'd say, inspired by the last memo from the CEO of Shopify, Toby. Whenever you have like a new problem, the go-to approach would be to say, okay, we need to hire someone. Is this something that we can rationalize or automate with automation or with AI? And if yes, you build a way more lean business that as a result can go way faster, that has less inertia, and that is more profitable. We have raised like $9 million. But also, I do believe in a new way to build businesses, that is about building a company that cares very deeply about profitability. That in mind, we are very close to be profitable as a business, and we will probably never need to raise again.
One of the biggest mistakes that I did in my first startup is not pay enough attention and crack this channel. I completely understand that if you're building a long-term business, SEO should be like rock solid and your backbone of GTM. Welcome to Edbound with Kinner, Simo. It's such an honor to have you with us today, because what you're trying to build, man, I mean, is just unbelievable, right? You're trying to crack a space which has a unicorn almost in every country. So let's hear your introduction. If you were introducing Folk to, let's say, a new customer or an investor, what would you say?
Thank you a lot for having me, Kinner, and super happy to have this discussion. I would say that I believe in a world where every salesperson has its own assistant. They are working in symphony in order to make the company sell more. And in this world, the job of salespeople is fundamentally different. It's focused on having genuine connection, genuine conversation, genuine discussions on what's fundamentally human in their job, meeting other people and connecting with them. And your crew of assistants is just taking care of everything else. It's taking your notes from your meeting. It's identifying the leads you haven't followed up with. It's enriching them for you. It's doing the research and so on and so forth. And we are building the platform for that. Folk is a modern CRM connected to your words, active and intelligently powered by AI.
Wow, that's such a beautiful introduction. I'll tell you why, because you're just reframing the question of what a CRM is supposed to do. So it's it's kind of a master stroke in positioning your product. I love the way you kind of pick up the narrative of how people should have this assistant instead of just framing it as another tool. So super brilliant. And I see that your progress has been stellar. But just before we go there, let me ask you, what made you think about this domain? Because with framing, I think the background of a founder also matters a lot. So if we could just talk about your journey very quickly and understand.
Definitely. I'm a former consultant and banker. I used to work at Morgan Stanley and McKinsey, and that again, I got tired of like this, I'd say, corporate life, and wanted to build my own product from A to Z. So I did a coding bootcamp named Le Wagon, and I started after that freelancing a lot. I was dealing with, I'd say, maybe 30 leads clients at the same time and chatting with them on LinkedIn, on WhatsApp, by email. I was managing them all in a Notion database, and it was a mess. I love Notion and I love how easy and customizable it is, but I truly felt that these leads were my most important assets, and I didn't have anything in order to manage them properly, basically. It was all over the place, and I was probably losing dollars, not following up properly, checking the right notes, knowing who is active in my pipeline. And so I started looking at CRMs, at Pipedrive, at HubSpot, which were like the go-to software at this time. And wearing my consultant hat, I was like very confused by how large was the CRM market, how crazy were the revenue these businesses were doing. They are literally thriving. And at the same time, how bad was the experience, and how, I'd say, say, strong was the emotional, hunger of people complaining about their CRM everywhere on the web or every salesperson you talk to. It's too manual. It's like not connected to your word. It requires you to connect them to a million other tools with API to have so that's where we started. I met my co-founders and we decided we wanted to go after this very, very big market, after the biggest SaaS market, actually.
Yes, I mean CRM, the largest TAM ever, because everybody understands that you've got to have a CRM. But it's super impressive to understand that you learned coding, right? I mean, you did not so you did not do an engineering degree. And are you the CTO as well? Are you looking at the product architecture? What is your core in the company now?
No, I'm a very bad engineer. Even I would say I'm a non-engineer at all. But having the basics of coding helped me,
Yeah.
I believe, better understand what it takes to build a product. And I'm responsible for product and go to market. And I'm lucky to have a co-founder that's handling all tech related subjects. And that is
Superb. If you had to highlight and throw some numbers, the big numbers Folk has been able to achieve, how long, what are the numbers you could disclose?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 3,500 clients at the moment, company clients. We're growing very fast. We have like hundreds of millions of contacts that we are managing, 300K users. Uh, yeah, basically, we do believe, even though we are growing very fast, like still like less than 1% of even 0.1% of the market. It's a huge market. There is so much need for change, and happy to make a little few more people know with this discussion and with this podcast. But what strikes me the most is when people discover about Folk, what they learn about it, they get that this is obviously better than the status quo, than the pipe drive and HubSpot of this world.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are some amazing numbers. And you guys have raised money yet? What are the plans? How much?
Yeah, we have raised like $9 million with Axel, who's the fund that invested in Dropbox, Facebook, Slack, and with angels from companies we admire, like founder of Dropbox, founder of Behance, founder of Webflow, and so on, and also operators from Notion, Stripe, Intercom. So yeah, we are very lucky to have like a very nice cap table that we are leveraging very frequently. But also, I do believe in a new way to build businesses, in a new way to build companies that is not about like running after every fundraise,
Yeah.
every fundraise. That is about building a company that cares very deeply about profitability very early on, about unit economics. Having that in mind, we are very close to be profitable as a business, and we will probably never need to raise again. So that's the way I'm building. Like we're not building like a business only for the hype and for the big numbers. We're
Yeah.
building
Yeah.
it to be like an enduring business over the very long term.
Yeah.
And I believe one of the way to do that is also to like keep like a small, very concise team. We are like above approximately 20 people with a lot of ownership that leverage heavily AI in order just to go way faster.
Yeah. I mean, I call this what you're thinking right now. I call it the bootstrap fundraising way of building a startup, So you have a mentality of a bootstrapped startup, but you're fundraising because you need that muscle to grow faster with all that happens. And in technology, you need to have rapid pace in today's time. So I love it. Usually second time, third time founders are the people who get this right, who understand that, okay, well, I'm going to do it different this time, and we're going to build it in a profitable way. And I'm sure with that, you're trying to keep the team also lean, like not hire tons of people, use AI wherever possible. What's your ambition? Where do you see the team size from now to where do you want to get to?
Yeah, like totally aligned. And you coined the term, Kinner. It's like a nice term, bootstrap fundraiser. Yeah. Well, honestly, like I do believe I want to get like 200 million of revenue with less than 100 people, if not less than 50 people. And every time we are to hire a new person, we think deeply about is this something that we can do with AI? I've been very, I'd say, inspired by the last memo from the CEO of Shopify, Toby, where it's a way larger company, obviously, but like I do think it's the right way to frame it. Whenever you have like a problem, the go-to approach would be to say, okay, we need to hire someone, but isn't it more, I'd say, sane over the very long term, just to think about, is this something that someone else can take? Is this something that we can rationalize or automate with automation or with AI? And if yes, if you build that muscle over the very long run, you build a way more lean business that as a result can go way faster, that has less inertia, and that is more profitable.
Absolutely, man. Love the way you kind of approaching this. So I want to kind of understand how you are growing the entire customer base for Folk, your GTM playbook, because I see some fantastic comments and some fantastic feedback posts. There's so much of talk happening around Folk right now. What's the stack like? What's the playbook, Simo?
Thank you for the kind words. Honestly, I do think one of the thing we often say with my co-founders, and it's like a French sentence, is les petits fleuves font les grandes rivières. It means like the incremental efforts compound over time, and you need to put a lot of them in order to build like a big house. And that's not the literal traduction. The literal traduction says that like little rivers help do very large rivers, basically. Yeah, that is to say that we do a lot of different things, but I do believe the first thing and the ultimate growth hack is word of mouth, and is having like a product that just people love. So that people will like tell their friends about. And in order to do that, you just need like to it's very like detail oriented, crafting the product piece by piece, pixel by pixel, like craftsman. We are not, we say we are craftsman inside, and that's not for the sake of building a good product. It's because we do believe that this is why we will make our users very happy and ultimately talk about the product. So that's the first thing. Then we have a bunch of different channels that are meant to like let us accelerate word of mouth. Influence, we work with a lot of different influencers.
You mean
SEO.
paid partnerships? You mean
Yeah.
paid partnerships? Yeah. Okay. So you have a budget dedicated and you've run it since day one, have you? The influencer partnerships?
Not since day one, but like we started fairly early.
Okay. You were talking about SEO.
Exactly, SEO. So, which is a very important part of our go-to-market playbook, leveraging a lot of AI to write the right articles on the long tail, and also referencing ourselves not only to like search websites, but also to AI chatbots like ChatGPT, which we see like an important rise.
You mean GEO? People call it GEO as well, you know, the GPT engine optimization. So you're taking both together from day one, like SEO and GEO.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a first, man. Like I've spoken to so many people, but I think I love because you're taking them both together. So, all right, cool. Influencers, which you quoted first, SEO, GEO, what else?
Affiliates. So we let some partners distribute the product and take a fraction of the revenue, like agencies, for example, that sales agencies that need to, I'd say, advise their own customers about like the sales stack, and they love Folk. They will recommend Folk and take 30 to 40% of the revenue they generate. They're bringing us very high quality leads.
You mean 30? Did you say 30?
Yeah, 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%. And is this lifetime revenue from the clients they bring, or is it only for the first year?
2 years. 2 years revenue.
It goes to zero after 2 years? Or
it goes to
okay. Okay. Let's carry on. Affiliates.
And we have 1,500 partners we are working on. Some are bigger than others, but like, we have a very network of affiliates. And the last one is like paid. Obviously, we do paid all over the place, on newsletters, on search, LinkedIn, Meta, Reddit, everywhere. Try to be like super, I'd say, oriented. And ROI oriented. Yeah, that's like roughly what we do. And I would say also just keep launching every week, new stuff. Celerity, I believe, is the best predictor of future success, and launch it on all platforms where we are, and just, stay top of mind, basically.
This is fantastic. I want to just write off a few channels. You don't do any cold outbound or LinkedIn outreach. Is that also a part of the tool stack, or
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, we have been lucky to have like a very large inbound traffic since the early days. People care a lot about CRM. Every company in the world needs a CRM, and like the current offer. So we had a very large inbound.
The keyword map is quite large. I mean, there's so many keyword searches happening all the time.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've not...
But we start thinking like more actively about doing outbound at the moment. At this exact time, we are experimenting with cold calling. cold calling and like having a very multi-channel approach to like outbound with LinkedIn, email, and cold calls.
Yeah, yeah. No, fantastic. So before I go and peel layers off the channels that you mentioned, let me just highlight when you start cold calling, I mean, I'm sure you're going to look at RB2B and certain other, like I spoke to Adam Robinson from RB2B as well. I think it'll work well if you do target US because it doesn't work in Europe. I mean, the GDPR becomes a bit of an issue. But with your cold calling efforts, what we have seen is if you build some really powerful lead magnets, like webinars, white papers, guidebooks, and layer it on your cold. What that means is instead of offering a demo or something, you just offer them content and then kind of get them to the mid funnel and bottom funnel. That really works well. I've been talking to a lot of people who kind of really see a CAC lowering down to about 5x when they do that. So, maybe
So yeah, indeed, in general, I do believe that like the best way to approach when you're reaching out to someone, instead of like asking them to do you a favor, is like offering them something.
Yeah.
I do believe it's like it creates like a reciprocal attitude to the person in front of you that will be way more likely to consider your offering afterwards. So yeah, I love that.
That's why we called Edbound. The whole idea is build an academy or a content center or a knowledge center and keep giving stuff out. That's how you kind of look at it. But okay, let me dial down onto the channels that you spoke about. So when you speak about influencer marketing, which a lot of people feel creates the buzz around the brand and your top of the funnel kind of is generated from there. Are you partnering with influencers in specific areas? Are you going global with it? What is your playbook in influencer marketing? Maybe give us a few pointers.
Yeah, well, our playbook is super simple. We try to work with influencers that truly love the product, that already use it, or that start using it, that understand it deeply, and that are, I'd say, resonating with their audience, which is sales people that need to sell as part of their job, not necessarily sales folks. It can be founders, agency owners, consultancy owners, whatever. They need to sell as part of their job. It's like vital for them. So we select the right influencers with the right audience. Then we look like cheaply at CPMs. We are not able to pay any price in order to make like that work. And we focus on like a few geographies, basically the US or Western Europe, mostly UK, Spain, UK, France are being our two biggest countries.
So when you're saying that it's mostly CPM, I could call it a success-based or a performance-based partnership. You're not paying based on how many posts you do or how many times you talk about folk. You're saying every time you bring me traffic or conversion, I pay you. Is that right?
So not exactly. So basically we analyze their past posts, like their 5 or 10 past posts. We look at the CPM, we look at the impressions.
Yeah.
And based on the average impression, we offer them like a CPM range that we can, I'd say, modulate based on like influencer quality, based on their audience size, based on their geography, based on like their audience and so on. But roughly we use their past impression in order to determine what price we can pay in the future.
Wow. Love it. How do you track conversions from a particular influencer? That's one of the biggest problems people have with that channel.
Yeah, honestly, like we have like this is a super hard problem basically. So what we have done is quite simple. We measure the traffic every day that is coming from LinkedIn and that is like organic, non associated to another channel. Based on like the person that posts in a given day, we will match this traffic if there is a peak to the influencer that posted in this day. So it's very artisanal, honestly. It's not like a very like scientific approach, but it's the best possible approach we've found today.
How are you doing that? Because I mean, Google Analytics would not give you the best conversion or best traffic data there. I mean, what are the tools that are being used to look at the traffic and spikes?
Honestly, we are building all that internally, basically. All of this is built internally and we visualize that in Metabase.
Wow. So you're building your own dashboards to analyze the spikes and the traffic, connect them with the influencer on LinkedIn. And is LinkedIn the only channel or are you partnering with people also on YouTube?
So we are doing YouTube, but less volume on YouTube. And we tend also to do a lot of affiliation on YouTube. And we have like partners that are doing like very good sums of dollars, like doing videos about folk on YouTube.
Wow. This is a first. I mean, such innovation. But I can see the reason you're trying to build this yourself, because I can see that this could be a part of the platform offering as well tomorrow. I mean, this is a pain point a lot of people have. Like, what channel got you? I mean, the entire enriching, which Clay kind of dabbles in. So you could be a piece in between that. But that's fantastic. So influencer marketing is brilliant, and I see your approach. I mean, what you're talking about in terms of CPM. If I had to ask you, influencers from what country has been the key success drivers for you, and what percentage of your conversion? So let's say you convert 100 people on a daily basis, hypothetical number, what percentage could be attributed to influencers?
Yeah, well, I think US is our biggest market. For any channel, it's our biggest market. Uncle Sam has a lot of dollars, basically.
I like that.
Yeah, so basically, this is like by far biggest market. Like it's maybe almost 40% of our revenue, and influence is like roughly 10% of new revenue.
Okay, I get it. I get it. My brain's building the charts right now, listening to the data that you're kind of talking about. So awesome. Let's move to the second one, SEO. I love companies that can tap into the SEO. One of the biggest mistakes that I did in my first startup is not pay enough attention and crack this channel. And I completely understand that if you're building a long-term business, SEO should be like rock solid and your backbone of GTM, right? So how did you approach SEO? Did you hire like from day one an SEO consultant? Did you figure out yourself because you said you lead? This is a question that not just early founders, a lot of people deeper in the journeys have.
I do believe that like GTM teams in the like the geometry of GTM teams that we are trying to build is like a crew of generalists people. For example, someone in growth, in data, in marketing, and have like as freelancers, specialists basically that will help us like have very channel specific knowledge and expertise. So as of today, the go-to-market team is like one person in data, one person in marketing, and one person in I would say ops growth. And we have people working with us as a freelancer on specific channel, one person in ads paid, one person in SEO specifically, one person managing influencer, for example, and so on. This is to say that specifically for SEO, so we have a person in house and we have a person that help us do that. The way we approach it is like we do market research, basically. What are the keywords for which there is volume? What is the trend for each of this keyword? What is the difficulty for this keyword? What are the competitors doing? What are adjacent products doing? And what are creatively the areas where we do believe there is opportunities, and ChatGPT can help a lot ideate on that. Then we prioritize and we build like this content using AI tools. There are many AI tools in the market that can help.
Which ones do you use?
We used to use Positional.
Okay. It's like Jasper?
It's very similar to Jasper.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we use at this exact time, but I know we switched like recently, like 10 days ago, but I don't remember the name of the product. Never mind. I think there are many AI tools that help you like build build that. And I think then it's like really much a matter of like optimization. So going content by content, seeing which content brings the most revenue, and if there is like room for improving them, seeing which content isn't in the first page, and seeing if there is room for improving them, and so on and so forth, and building like some backlinks. So yeah, like a lot of efforts to make SEO works, and I do believe it can be like heavily impacted by AI.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're also doing GEO, but I have a few more questions about SEO and GEO. A lot of people, including people at the top like Neil Patel, they keep on saying, don't use AI to write, get a human to write, and then use AI to maybe just polish it or, add to it. Search engines punish it. I don't agree with that completely, because I believe AI is almost writing like humans now if you use the right prompts and right syntax. So what's your take? What has been your playbook there? Who's writing?
Yeah, honestly, I do think like no one is right because no one knows. And as a result, only like experimentation can tell you where the truth is, and the world is changing so fast that there are like a lot of new opportunities. So people love playbooks, but actually we need to embrace the fact that we are in a very fast changing world, even more with AI. So what we do is like we just test like writing it from scratch super manually, writing it like with AI, and writing it manually and editing it with AI or adding pictures with AI. And we just see out of the three options what yields the best results, taking into account that the output of our delivery is different in each of these options, and then deciding. And we are going through this process at the moment. Our take for now is that you have some like core fundamental blog articles that need to be like or piece of content that need to be like handwritten, that you can edit with AI, add pictures with AI, but that need to be handwritten because like they are like important notes in your SEO architecture. But in a world of AI, the long tail matters a lot. And this you cannot build with like writers, basically. So that's where you need to leverage AI to write and review it by a human, basically make it reviewed by a human. And yeah, that's my take.
So that's the playbook or formula that's worked for you. Get AI to write a lot and then, humans to test it, because that way you're able to produce more content. How deep or how large is the blog repository so far? How many pieces of content have you guys written?
I can have a look. Honestly, like we tend to update it very, very, very frequently.
Top of the head number.
Yeah,
Where
the head number is a few thousand, basically.
A few thousand.
Yeah.
Wow. How long have you been at it now? Like how?
It's been like 18 to 24 months. And there is also a lot of programmatic SEO in there in like 2000. And we try also like to kill content that we do believe isn't like performing well. So that like to give the right, to give the right indications to Google to understand, also content that tends to overperform, but that isn't bringing us like the right quality of leads. We tend to either diminish it or like kill it. So it's a very moving, dynamic process. And what we don't want to like fall into is like being a very good SEO tools, but that brings bad quality leads. We are doing SEO for revenue, basically. We are a fucking business. We want profits. So traffic for traffic, I don't care.
Yeah. Makes sense, man. This is fantastic. Now let's talk about the other bit of SEO which a lot of people get scared of, backlinks. You mentioned you have a freelancer who kind of is a SEO expert. Now a lot of people feel backlinks is a full-time sales job, right? You have to keep requesting, keep offering links, getting links. How deep have you gone there? How much is the effort that you put in there?
Yeah, honestly, like I think that backlinks helps, and even more in a world of AI, because like trusted sources tend to be, I'd say, valued by GPT engines, by like AI chatbots. So what we do is, and I'm aligned that it's a specific work. So what we do is that we just work with an agency that is specialized in backlinks, and they generate like a few with high quality backlinks for us every month, basically.
Okay, fantastic. And would you like to name the agency, or maybe I'll ask you that later, because people are just like, love those references. A lot of people kind of reference these online, but I'll ask you later about this, right?
I'll be able to share like the link to the agency name. I just need to find it again.
GEO. Let's talk a little bit about it. Now, are you putting files like robot.txt and there are various formulas? Have you got a separate team, or you just kind of cracking that with the same team, trying to optimize based on what the world is learning about GEO?
Yeah, honestly, it's a very manual process to learn about GEO, because like there is no playbook, and everyone has takes on what it takes to like win there. What we know is that like we are seeing traffic from ChatGPT increase weeks on weeks, and that's a good thing. I believe like it takes to be referenced in like trusted areas, like obviously press articles, but also a lot on like Reddit, on Quora.
Yeah, maybe G2, Capterra. Are you also looking at those?
Yeah, absolutely, G2, Capterra, but we already had like a strong presence there. So yeah, I would say this is the first thing, and observing very clearly where like Google AI summaries tend to reference us as an inspiration, to understand what like AI chatbot care about, basically, and trying to like understand what's retro engineer what made that reference, and try to like leverage it for other articles. For example, we understood that AI love bullet points, love very concise articles with like phrases that tends to be at the top of each paragraph, that explains, that summarize the section.
So what you're essentially saying is that GEO and SEO are kind of cousins. I mean, it's very similar, right? I mean, listings, sources, backlinks, all of that kind of helps. But I like you have a, I mean, I like the way you're explaining it, because this is kind of a simplistic take on, don't take it as a next big beast that you have to tame, but just kind of do the things that are the right things. So interesting question there would be, any question on GPT that's being asked and you're surprised, why is my name being figured, or why is folk coming there? What are the kind of questions people are asking?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I don't have like any that come to mind specifically, but I know that like my sales people are like often referring to us as like, okay, we see way more people coming from ChatGPT that discovered folk on ChatGPT, and
Wow.
yeah, I'm always happy to hear that. Basically, I'm always super
What if I
excited.
asked the sexiest CRM? I want GPT to tell me it is folk, right? That's where I
I
would love
want
to
to
see you
hear
guys.
folk as well. The sexiest one for sure, it will be folk.
Yeah, yeah. No, superb, man. Superb. So that's kind of the top two channels. Now, if I asked you what is the traffic ratio for SEO, I believe it's going to be very large because you're generating inbound traffic. So what's that number going to be for your business?
Yeah, I think it should be like 20-ish percent of our traffic. We get like I don't have like the traffic in mind exactly, but in terms of signups, we are like 6 to 8,000 signups per month, basically, roughly over all channels. So if SEO is 20% of that, it's like one k to like let's say a bit less than 2k signups per month.
Wow. And I assume all of this is PLG. You don't have salespeople right now who kind of do demos and stuff, or do you?
So we don't have outbound salespeople, but we do have like inbound ones. So that's like just gather like the biggest the
Yeah.
biggest opportunities and do like a bunch of demos every week. We should be doing like 60 to 70 demo per week.
That's a good number, decent number, man. Are you driving traffic through your blog channels to get them to download stuff, or you're pushing them towards demos, or you're pushing them towards a free sign up for your trial? What's the main focus there?
It depends of the article. If it's like a very high quality, meaning very bottom of the funnel article, we'll drive
Yeah,
them to our
yeah.
demos, and in the demo form, we'll qualify them if they need to go like to like a demo if they are the right quality, or if they just need to go to like a standard sign up, and we'll invite them to like a broader webinar.
Okay, so you have webinars also running. Is that every week, or how often is that happening?
Twice a week. We run webinars twice a week, and yeah, these are like very cool ones to I'd say offer an interactive experience also to
Yeah.
users that aren't like a very large business, and so that as a result we can't offer a demo.
Let me then just try and summarize.
Let's
So,
go.
Simo, I kind of get the gist of your GTM playbook, and I think you've given me a lot to kind of look at from the perspective of, how your affiliate marketing, your SEO, which is sort of the backbone, and you have demos, webinars. I mean, this is such a fantastic playbook that you're kind of building there. Where are you seeing the biggest growth coming from in the next 6 to 9 months? And is there any new channel planned for your GTM?
Yeah. Honestly, like I believe the biggest source of growth will be like word of mouth. We keep investing a lot on the product. Some very big things are coming up, and especially we have an integration with WhatsApp. It will be one of the first CRM to like be fully integrated with WhatsApp, where you can sync your new contact, sync your conversations, and ever chat with your folk assistant on WhatsApp. So to update your CRM from your WhatsApp directly, take notes, record them. It will be like fantastic. We have opened the wait list, and like it's there is a lot of excitement for this one, and I understand why. WhatsApp is like 97% open rate when you compare it to like emails. It makes conversation feel more genuine, more authentic. So first thing is like word of mouth. Second thing, we are working on our API. So like our distribution strategy will leverage even more distribution partners with integration with them. And so I expect that to be like a big one. And the third one that we mentioned before is like we are experimenting on outbound and cold calling specifically. And yeah, I want to add that arc to my GTM channels. But roughly, it will be continuing doing more of the same, like more aggressively going on SEO, on affiliation, on influence, on ads, and building a product that our user love so much that they can rave about it.
Wow. That's fantastic. I love that you candidly opened the entire playbook with us, and I'm sure people listening right now have a lot to learn here. But thank you so much for joining us, Simo. It's been a pleasure and so much to learn, man. Really, I'm sure that I'm going to see Folk leading the battle of CRMs, and I personally love the product. And I think WhatsApp is a masterstroke because, in countries like India, UK, Africa, Europe, I mean, it is 97% open rate. And this was one of the reasons that we left HubSpot. So we were on HubSpot. I left it because they did not allow me WhatsApp broadcasts and stuff. So I'm going to check it out. I'll ping you to be on that wait list. Or if you have some backend tests going on, I would love to share my feedback. I am a power user myself, but thank you so much for joining, Simo. It's been a pleasure.
Such a pleasure, Kinner. Thank you for the question, and I really enjoyed our discussion. So talk very soon.
Absolutely. Take care, man. Thank you.
Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.